Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Cosmopolitan Education. If you are watching this video for the first time and you have not subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe to this channel so that you will be getting all the updates of the new videos which I will be uploading. And if you are having any doubts, you can write in the comment section. Okay, so we are doing the chapter Molecular Basis of Inheritance, which is very important chapter of biology class 12, and in this we have to talk today about Michelson and Stahl's experiment. As we have already discussed about the semi-conservative nature of the DNA, and we have talked that the replication, the process of doubling of DNA, this process of replication is semi-conservative in nature. That simply says that the new DNA which is being formed, it has half of the strands from the parent DNA and half strand, or you can say one strand it forms, or it is a new strand actually. So out of the two strands which are formed in a newly developed DNA, one is from the parent DNA and one strand is newly developed. So this was the semi-conservative mode of replication of DNA molecule, and it was proved with the help of one experiment also, which was performed by Michelson and Stahl, and today we are going to talk about that experiment only. Okay, so what these scientists did actually in their experiment, they used one bacteria which was E. coli. E. coli was used by them, and as you know that the growth rate of the bacteria E. coli is very high. It divides, it multiplies at a very faster rate, and it simply uses nitrogen molecule as its nutrient, as its growth molecule, and the nitrogen which is generally used is N14. The nitrogen which is generally used is N14 by the E. coli bacteria, but there was a little change in the experiment which was performed by Michelson and Stahl. They used the same bacteria E. coli or Escherichia coli, and it was developed in a culture plate with the help of the nutrients which are required by them, or in general case it is nitrogen N14, but they provided their this bacteria the nitrogen 15. This is actually the heavy isotope of nitrogen. In the terms of density, you can say that this N15 is heavier. So in general case N14 is used by the bacteria E. coli, but in this experiment of Michelson and Stahl, the nitrogen which was given to the developing bacteria E. coli, it was not N14, it was N15. This nitrogen was given to the bacteria. Okay, so as this bacterium was used and the material which was given for their proper growth and development, it was NH4Cl, in which N15, this nitrogen was N15, which is the heavy isotope of nitrogen. Okay, now as they used the bacteria and they used one culture plate also on which this bacteria was allowed to develop, it was allowed to multiply, and not only one single generation, actually many generations were studied, and this was easy to understand, this was easy to study because the growth rate of this bacteria is very high. It enters in the second generation or in the next generation at a very faster rate. So it was allowed to develop, it was allowed to divide for many generations here in the culture plate, so that suppose the bacteria which was used for the first time, or the initial generation of the bacteria which was used, it must have used N14 because this is the normal substance which is used by the bacteria E. coli. But for the next generations, for the new generations to come, which are to be produced here after the division of the bacteria, they were not getting N14 because only N15 was present here in this culture plate. So bacteria which were used for the first time, they were having N14, but the bacteria which will be produced in the upcoming generation, they will be only getting N15 for their growth and manipulation. So what they did now, they allowed the bacteria to divide for many generations, and many generations were produced here, and after that these bacteria were collected from here. From this culture plate, these bacteria were separated, and what they did actually after that, they used ultra centrifugation. In the process of centrifugation, the bacteria are spent, or they are rotated at a very faster rate, and this ultra centrifugation which was used here by these scientists, it was density gradient, because the main thing, or the main theme of the experiment which was used, it was totally dependent upon the density, or you can say the heaviness of the material actually, because N14, the difference was of N14 and N15. The N15 was the heavier isotope of nitrogen. So the bacteria were collected from here, which were developing here. They were collected from the culture plate, and they were gone through the density gradient ultra centrifugation, and after the centrifugation was done, a density tube was used. A tube was used which was based on the density of the substances. Some material was filled here in this tube, and after the process of ultracentrifugation, the remains of the bacteria, you can say, they were allowed to settle down in this density tube, or you can say density gradient tube. So the remains of the bacteria, they were allowed to settle down. And what was the final observation of the experiment? Actually, it was, as you can see here, the amount or the remains will be settled down according to their density, and the most heaviest was N15. So the bacteria which has come, or which has arisen in the new generation actually, because many generations were growing here, so the bacteria which were present in the new generation, as they were getting only N15, so only N15 was present in their DNA, while some bacteria which were having both the strands, one DNA strand, it was consist of N14, and the another one, it was consist of N15. So the bacteria which were having both the strands, they were accumulated here. They were having both the strands actually, N14 as well as N15. Some were having only N15 strands, and some were having N14 strands, but most of the bacteria, they were having the strands which consist of one N14 and one N15. So this simply explained, this simply showed that the DNA replication is semi-conservative in nature, because as they were multiplying in number, as they were showing division, their DNA was also dividing, because in the case of bacteria, when E. coli is dividing, suppose if this is the bacteria and this is dividing into two different types of bacteria, or daughter cells you can say, so the DNA which is present here inside the bacteria, if this is the DNA, this is the genetic material, so this DNA has also to be replicate. Okay, first of all, this DNA will be separated, two strands of the DNA will be separated, and their complementary strand will be formed, and that strands or the separated DNAs, when they will complete their complementary strands, they will come and they will be arranged here as their genetic material, as the genetic material of the daughter cells. So this is the process of DNA replication. This was happening here also, as the bacteria were multiplying in number. So here the you can say accumulation of the bacteria were seen, which were having both the isotopes of nitrogen, N14 as well as N15. And what was the reason behind that? This simply explains that the DNA replication is semi-conservative in nature, as the bacteria which were present in the earlier generation, they were having N14, and when they were dividing, when they were giving rise to the new generation was having having only N15 to use actually, because N14 was not present here. So some strands of the DNA they got from their parents which were having N14, and the new strand which was generated, it was having N15. So that's why this showed both the nitrogen present in their genetic material, N14 as well as N15, and this simply explained about the semi-conservative mode of DNA replication. So this was the thing, this was the basic principle of the Michelson and Stahl experiment. I think you have understood about this experiment, and for the next video stay connected with us. Thank you for watching this one.